What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another Prizepicks MLB player props video. Coming off a video last time where we went 2-0 with the Pablo Lopez pitcher fantasy score, Shohei Ohtani hitter fantasy score. We are on a beautiful 10-3 run, so that winning percentage is right around 76%, which is fantastic for those of you that are new to the channel. Anytime you see that there's a run in the title, that means we're hitting above a 70% rate. I'm even thinking about dipping that down to possibly, like a 60% hit rate or something, because if you're hitting above 60%, you should be doing very well on your slips overall on Prizepicks. And just try to keep myself to a very high standard, try to keep the runs up, try to give you guys as much value as possible for free. But yeah, 10-3 run, fantastic. Another 2-0 video last time. I got two for you in the late games here tonight. The starting times have been all over the place for MLB, so I know today, we have a very large slate. We got games starting at 1:10, 12:35 p.m. Eastern, all the way down to 9:38 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So I'm going to give you guys two picks from the later games. So hopefully when this video comes out, you should have plenty of time to lock these picks in. If you enjoy the content, it would be greatly appreciated if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload, guys. And if you are going to be very serious, looking to step up your game, you can get access to every single one of my picks in the lower tier packages for a single sport, single app, Prizepicks Underdog. If you want to get access to every single one of my tickets as soon as I place them and a whole lot more, the KJK DFS VIP member package is going to be where it's at. It's going to include all sorts of different things, the lounge, the value alerts, tickets. Every single one of my tickets that I place, I send into the Discord immediately for Prizepicks, Underdog, Sleeper, Parlay, Play, Thrive Fantasy, all KJK DFS partnered apps. Trying to find the best value on every single one of these apps and sending it to you guys as soon as I place it to beat the bumps and get the best value. So that is linked below in the description. It is patreon.com/KJK_DFS. I'm also going to start commenting that and pinning it. So hopefully that'll help people be able to find it as well. Hopefully that'll help out because I think people are getting confused on that for some reason. But anyways, now for the rambling. Let's get into what you came here for, the important stuff, the picks. And we'll go game by game as we always do and break down exactly why I do like these two picks here today. So pick number one, we are going to be talking about the New York Yankees taking on the Washington Nationals. The New York Yankees coming with a 4.56 implied run total in this one in New York in Yankee Stadium. Taking on Mackenzie Gore, who has been a little bit rough around the edges here this year, specifically to right-handed hitting. He's a prospect that's still developing. He's got some decent K stuff with a 23.1% K rate to those righties over the last 30 days, over a 65 at-bat sample size, 26% K rate to those righties on the season, 8.8% walk rate. But he's given up a lot of hard contact, 193 ISO, 321 WOBA to right-handed bats. Specifically, lefties he's been a little bit tougher. But the problem for him is that the New York Yankees are a very right-handed heavy lineup, which is going to cause him some issues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right-handed bats expected to be rolled out here tonight against Mackenzie Gore. Doesn't get much more right-handed heavy than that. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit of a domino effect. If he can't effectively get outs to right-handed bats, he's got a little bit of a walk issue with that 10.8% walk clip. He's got a serious hard contact issue over the last 30 days with the 263 ISO. And I want to talk about the big bat in this order on Aaron Judge, who's rocking a 667 ISO, 667 WOBA, and striking out at a 0% clip to left-handed pitching over the last 30 days. That's over a 10 at-bat sample size, so don't get me wrong, that's a short sample size, but he's locked in. On the season, that's up to a 36.2% K rate, but still seeing a ton of power and a ton of contact. 344 WOBA, 250 ISO. So the strikeout rate has been up a little bit to lefties over the entire season, I will admit. But Mackenzie Gore's strikeout rate's less than impressive, 23.1% K rate. He's also walking guys. I expect there to be a lot of action on the bases here tonight for the New York Yankees. And then to top things all off, the Washington Nationals have a terrible bullpen. They have the second worst bullpen in the entire league, with a 475 xFIP. So Nationals, bad bullpen, starter that really struggles versus right-handed hitting. The entire Yankees lineup is right-handed. I expect Mackenzie Gore to have some issues. And it's in Yankee Stadium, which is a pretty great hitting environment overall. You can see the home runs most notably. We know Judge notorious for launching them out of the yard. Wouldn't be surprised in the least to see him go deep here tonight. I was really high on Judge last night as well. Actually, he had a great matchup. He did have a tough day at the dish, went up there and struck out 3 times. But the recency bias will not faze me. It's a great matchup. Don't care. The numbers match up here. It's Aaron Judge. I mean, he's arguably the best player in baseball, I guess you could say. Everyone has their own judgment, but we know he's up there, elite talent. 8.5 hitter fantasy score. Once again, Mackenzie Gore does have a little bit of a walk issue, so maybe Judge ends up getting walked a couple times. You get 2 fantasy points for every single one of those, 2 for every run. And maybe he's able to knock in a nice RBI single or something along those lines. There's many ways he can get there. And like I had mentioned, would not be surprised in the least to see him go yard here tonight. So if he wants to do that first at bat, that wouldn't hurt our feelings. Give us a quick cash. We will not complain. But many ways he can get you there for this matchup. Bad bullpen. Starter that struggles versus righties. You get the whole gist. Going with the over 8.5 hitter fantasy score here for Aaron Judge. That would be pick number 1. And then pick number 2, going to kick it on down to another offense. I was going to say another elite offense, but I got to be honest, man. The Yankees aren't exactly elite anymore. I hate to say it, but this offense I would say is elite. It's the LA Dodgers. They get to take on the Cleveland Guardians tonight. They have a 5.14 implied run total. And for good reason, they get to go into Cleveland with the winds blowing out at 10 miles an hour tonight in Cleveland. Great hitting environment, 80 degrees, and they get to take on Mr. Curry, who has been dreadful all season long. His numbers are not very good, man, and it hasn't really been any different as of late. Recent form still looking quite bad over the last 30 days. As a matter of fact, it's looking even worse. I mean, he's giving up a 260 ISO to righties, 340 WOBA against lefties. He's been terrible as well. But most notably to righties, he's been real bad. He's only striking them out at a 12.7% clip, 260 ISO, 340 WOBA on the entire season. It's been pretty much just as bad, 13% clip, 232 ISO, 342 WOBA. So he's really struggling versus right-handed hitting. That's going to be a problem for him. He has to take on red-hot Mookie Betts here. 278 ISO, 462 WOBA, 16.9% K rate for Mookie Betts over the last 30 days. Guy's been locked in. He leads the top of the lineup for the LA Dodgers. He did rack up 2 stolen bases last night as well. I was on his fantasy score, which was fantastic. He's not exactly the biggest stolen base threat, but could be a sign that he's onto the catcher. I know Noah Syndergaard was pitching in that game, and Noah Syndergaard has a bad stolen base issue, so I would lean that was more so the reason. But regardless, 5.14 implied run total for these LA Dodgers. Once again, Curry really struggling versus righties. Mookie Betts is locked in. It's the full package, really. And then finally, the bullpen I always like to bring up as far as Cleveland's concerned on the season. They've been pretty respectable, 12th in the entire MLB. So they're not the worst bullpen, but the good news is when you're taking on a starter that's this bad, if you're able to get to him early, which I expect the Dodgers to be able to, you're not going to be facing those elite arms out of the bullpen. You know, if you're up 4 runs or whatever the case may be, the Guardians are just going to be bringing in guys to get them through those innings and finish out the game. So I think Mookie's in a phenomenal spot here tonight. I think he continues to crush. And I think I broke it down pretty easily. I mean, great offense, surrounded by talent. That's obviously going to move the lineup. 9.0 hitter fantasy score. They do have his 2.5 hits, runs, and RBI prop up. I explained the stolen base upside. You get 5 fantasy points for every one of those stolen bases. So I do lean hitter fantasy score just in case he decides to swipe a bag for us, you know. That's a nice little bonus. I anticipate he'd be able to hit that fantasy score regardless if he's going to hit the over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So anyone that has any sort of stolen base upside for me, it becomes a very clear hitter fantasy score. Once again, Mookie Betts, 10 stolen bases on the season, so he's not like the most elite guy, but that's respectable. That's going to put him in the top, 4 pages here as far as stolen base leaders. It's a somewhat of a viable threat, so it's something I like to have in the back of my brain here when targeting fantasy score. We'll take any sort of edge we can get. You know, if he wants to swipe a bag for us here, I don't think he's going to need to. Like I said, I think there's going to be plenty of other production out of him, but little bit of food for thought there. So pick number 2, we're going with the over 9.0 hitter fantasy score here for Mookie Betts. Phenomenal spot. They're on the road, so they get the guaranteed top of the 9 inning at bats. And like these 2 props here tonight, Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, 2 phenomenal talents, both at the top of their lineups, both in great matchups. I think they crush for us here tonight and keep this run going. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Once again, if you're listening to the content and you're like, this guy knows what he's talking about, I want more content, the premium is going to be where it's at. That's going to give you access to every single one of my tickets as soon as I place them. All sports, all apps. We got NFL coming up, college football, NBA before you know it. Going to keep grinding over there. We'd love to have you join if you are interested in really looking to ramp up your game in the player props industry. So wishing you guys all the best of luck on your Prizepicks MLB player props tonight, and we will see you in the next one.